on road. And the other member of the playback is Ms. Tessie Coson and myself. So we're very positive. We think that the connectivity is something that we should bring up to get more trade and commerce among the nations. Thank you.
Thank you. Presidential Spokesperson Abella. Thank you, Mr. Basilon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I know that you have a number of questions, but we need to get on. And I'd just like to introduce the next one who will share about his impressions about the first 100 days of the president. Mr. D is an engineering graduate from De La Salle. He is a chairman emeritus of the Employers Confederation. Serves as chairman of various corporations, including Zest Airways and Central Peak Leisure and Development. Mr. D.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. I guess for some of you, I'm an old hand in this. So, I will expect some questions, but let me just say this, that to assess 100 days, I have seen presidents come and go. But the 100 days that we are experiencing today, has borne more fruits, more concrete proof of this is, for example, you have begun to see the positioning or the realization of the station, the central station out in EDSA for the three MRTs and LRTs. And this has been a problem that we have been faced with for the past 4 years, even for the past 7 years actually. I remember it was approved in GMA's administration. It was talked about for 6 years, and precisely not to criticize the past administration. Why this new administration is here is because the past 6 years was, a time of talking and very little in implementation. So, but here in less than a year or in less than 100 days, we have seen this implemented. We have seen the approval of the bill will be forthcoming. In fact, we have already generally agreed. Again, the kind of consultation we're seeing has never been seen or before. So people always say, the president is saying this, the president is saying that, and always the sad part about our society, and really this is more our society, because we always shoot ourselves on the feet. Prime Minister namin ganon. The question about, for example, the labor situation or this endo. You always ask, what have we done? Is there going to be agreement? I'm telling you, all we're waiting for is government to just say which direction we're going. To expect that labor and management will agree. My friends, I've been in this business for 50 years. I've sat in tripartite board for 30 years. We never agree. It's just that we enjoy ourselves because we always have friendly debates with our stakeholders. At the end of the day, the government decide, we will toe the line. This I can tell you. As far as the endo is concerned, this is going to be outlawed. We have already gone further than government. As president of ECOP, I've put together FAP, the contracting organizations, and we have agreed that we ourselves police our ranks. Anybody who is practicing endo will be removed from our membership list. This we promise the president. I think you should be grateful. The president has only one thing in his mind. Sabi niya, you do what is it you want. Pero ito, you just guarantee me and show me na ang mga manggagawa, mabigyan ng tamang sweldo at mabibigyan lahat ng tamang benepisyo to include retirement. Alam mo yung retirement, hindi nyo nakikita. Dati, sino nakakuha ng retirement? May out of close to 38 million workers, only 7.7 million are in the formal sector. Of those in the formal sector, how many do you think get retirement? I mean, real retirement. Most companies do not fund retirement. So that's why at the end of the time, when it's paying time, they find ways and means to cut off the worker. This time, because the president's instance, you're going to see retirement funded. So that this is, and I wish that sana makita ninyo ito. I tell you, all of these noises na sinasabi ng mga dayuhan dyan, salita lang yan, di naman nila naintindihan na nangyari dito. I mean, I'm telling you very frank, di na naintindihan. Ang masakit lang sa akin, yung mga kasama kong dayuhan na negosyante na nandito, sinasabi nila, aalis ka. Sino nga aalis? At ano ba? At nationalism, I wish we had, as Filipinos, more nationalism. Yun ang masasabi ko. And if you ask me, when and all this time during FBR's years, during GMA's years, we would go and would promote the Philippines. And yung ang importante lang naman sa mga nag-i-import dito sa bansa natin, makikita yung policy mo is sustainable and doesn't change, and that if you want to change, you change it prospectively. This President pro-social, and therefore they can understand that the people will be taken care of. Kasi peace and order is a very big issue. Don't think na peace and order is not an issue. It's a very, very big issue. There are companies who will not come in. Thirdly, you have to also understand that yung mga ibang bansa dyan, ginagamit nila itong sinasabi ng human rights and all that as a way in the world, New York, and find a lot of sweatshops. And what are they doing about it? So here we have a problem. We know that, and maybe the president is too transparent. But at least why are we so supportive? Because what you see is what you get. And this is not. And kung magsalita man siya, what we appreciate most is that he on the ground he is doing things. And this is for us. This is why he was elected. He's started shooting for the heck of it just to get rid of people. It's not the case. Maybe the president exaggerated by saying, I don't mind if you have all these 3 million shot. But what he's saying is, this is the eye of our problem. You take this cancer out. What he's after is beyond drugs. What he's after is the changing of our mindset. And ito napakahirap na goal na binigay ni Presidente sa sarili niya. Because of his vision that at the end of his 6 years is going to leave this country that is free, that has its citizens living with dignity, with jobs, that's happy, and that goal cannot be achieved if you have all of these drug menace, all of this petty crime, and of people who do not, or ourselves who do not love and respect our country. So if he gets angry, it is only because of his intensity of his desire to see his objective done and done soonest. Yun lang masasabi ko.
Okay, thank you, Mr. D. Question will come from Joseph Morong, then to be followed by Ina Andalong of CNN Philippines.
Sir, good morning.
Yes.
You mentioned some companies being nationalistic. Clarification, sir, are they leaving the Philippines, and is it because of the pronouncements of the president?
No, in fact, that's what I'm saying. It's the contrary. They use that as an excuse and say that we will leave. And yet none of them are leaving. As long as they're making money, they will leave. I mean, they did not come here because of any other reason except to make money. Of course, in the process, they help our people, and we're grateful.
Okay,
But if they don't make money, they're not going to stay here.
Thanks, sir.
Ina Andalong.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, can you clarify to us? I mean, can you be more specific on what clarifications you want regarding the government's endo policy as mentioned by Mr. Barcelon earlier?
As I said, we fully support the eradication of endo. What I've said publicly, which some of the functionaries in the Department of Labor are not happy about, is I'm saying we told the Department of Labor, we must be very clear on how we'll do the transition. And to me, it's so simple. Just say that we will implement the labor code. And Article 108, 106 to 109 is very clear. It defines various kind of employment. Yun lang ang sabihin nila na we will implement the labor code and we will implement it strictly, not with one eye closed. Kasi there were talks in the Department of Labor. Okay, we will allow 20% casuals. I said, you don't open that door. In fact, I'm even stricter than the Labor Department. You don't open that door. Oras sinabi mo may 20% na casual dyan. Gagamitin na naman loophole yan eh. You just follow the labor code. The labor code has 4 types of employment. Now, any company, you choose the 4 type. Most of these will do outsourcing because that's the way for them to better manage their business. Most entrepreneurs are not management, human resource managers. Nahirapan sila, so they outsource it, and therefore they get the technology and the expertise. So that's the whole reason for it.
Raymond, sorry.
Sir, you talked about policing your own ranks. How would you assess the compliance for now of your members when it comes to following the no endo policy?
Right now, they're just confused now because we have not clearly defined the way to go. Secretary Lopez of DTI has come out with the proposal. Yesterday there was a meeting with Labor. Obviously, Labor, without even looking at it, will say no. Kasi yung Labor kasi is coming from not to criticize, but they're coming from a different direction. They're talking of 125 as a philosophical thing. They really talk about living wages. And then when they talk about security of tenure, their definition is different. As well as security of tenure is lifetime work. That's not it. Security of tenure simply means that you do not remove any employees without just cause and without following a process. So they will not agree. But it's for the Department of Labor to say, we will go back to, again, the labor code. We will implement it. We will define security of tenure as is enshrined in the law. And everybody will follow. So that's all we're waiting for. Sabihin lang yun. Tomorrow we start moving.
Thank you, sir. Raymond Tinasa from Bombo Radio.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, you've mentioned not necessarily to criticize the past administration, but you've mentioned the contracts being reviewed to and fraud and cancelled. Even the big tickets projects were not implemented. So do you not see the repetition of this kind of problem with this Duterte administration?
Well, the best proof that it's not following that is the agreement that was signed just yesterday. From the last 2 years of GMA to the whole 6 years of the past administration, nothing happened except a lot of talk.
So now that some left-leaning leaders are part of the Duterte administration, do you see a friendlier environment, especially from their ranks who are used to pickets, rallies, which ultimately greatly affecting the business operations?
Very good. You touch on a very sensitive issue. One of my biggest problems in trying to convince my membership to them, because they are there not to implement and support the President's policy of job creation and providing dignified jobs and life for our people. They are there in order to implement their own philosophical stuff. Okay, and I said, people like that has no right to of the individual who comes and says, we will do 125 pesos across the board increase. And then the follows, this is my personal opinion. Boss, personal opinion, you're a senior government official. You have lost your right to make public statements like that. And did you even bother to make a computation? 125 pesos for 7.7 billion people or employees will amount to almost 1 billion pesos a day. And NEDA itself said, if you do that, you're going to see inflation go to beyond 6.5%. What happens, I asked the guy who made this statement, to the 32 million tricycle drivers and self-employed who will not get your 125? They're going to carry the burden of an increase in price. So, sabi ko niya, hindi naman yan ang march order niyo eh. Then he tells me, I'm going to go to Congress. So I said, fine, I'll see you in Congress. But there are people like that we should. Again, I say that, and I mean with George, maybe 100 days is not enough for them to gel, some guys. But some people will never gel, and I hope the president will get rid of them.
So may you introduce to us whom you are referring to?
No, I would not want to do that. The guy knows. From my statement, he knows what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Raymond. Alexis, wait. JP, wait. Raymond, after
A bit in case the dynamics of the relationship between the Philippines and the U.S. change. He mentioned that a few days ago. What would you be willing to sacrifice in the event that the eventuality of the changing of the dynamics of the Philippines and U.S. relationship happens?
And I'll be making statements here that are very... Anyway, George asked me, Donald, look at this, 4 to 2015. Now, why did I do that? Because you have here 3 administrations, 2 of which were close to the Americans, and 1 was very close. So you would expect that during the time that the very close administration was in place, that there would be a big spike, right? Well, it's not. You look at our FDIs, it's flat. $7 billion. You look at it, it's flat. Almost flat. 7 to 7.7. What does that mean? Look at the kind of money that came in when we were close to a country. And you will find that the money came in for military hardware and these kind of things. And I think it did not go into direct foreign investments. If your economy is friendly to investors, if your economy is competitive, it's not how you talk, it's how you look. And I maintain that we now have the macroeconomic picture that is very clear. What we need to do now is to show them that we're really doing something in the 4 things that the president has said he will do. Infrastructure, logistics, energy, those are the first 3 that criticize because they'll be too busy putting up the factories and making money.
So you see the scenario of Filipinos having to sacrifice in case hindi nga naging maganda yung magiging daloy ng relationship with the US.
Alam mo, with technology, the telephone is right on the table of the president and the other leaders who spoke out. Didn't they not even think that it's their duty to just pick up the phone and say, Mr. President of the Philippines, we're getting this kind of reaction. Instead of going to the papers, they react.
Okay, thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Mr. D. Thank you, Mr. Barcelon. Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abellion.
Marami.
First,
Alam ko nagmamadali kayo at meron kayo buwan.
okay, first question will come from Joseph Morong.
Sir, what do you think of the statements of even the allies of the president? Since we're talking about the president talking speech.
He knows how to handle these things, and so I'd like to leave it to him. He's a person after his own heart, and he knows how to handle situations. So far, he seems to have adjusted pretty well. Hindi ba? Okay, so ganun po. He's come
na mabawasan yung mga press conferences and talking opportunities to media. Do you see a need for that?
silent.
To less interaction with the media. Or zero interaction.
I don't know about the whole matter. So, ang ano siguro here is, as we're finding our way regarding all the noise, supposed to be, we'd like to, one of the ways that we're doing is we're bringing in other voices that can give a better and a clearer perspective.
So, ibig sabihin, sir, yung mga advice na, reduce muna talking, wala yan, hindi yan susundin.
Hindi naman po sa hindi susundin. We all adjust, no? We all adjust accordingly. Well, adjust accordingly. Pero wala naman tayong minamanage na kwento rito. Sinasabi lang natin na here is a course for the nation which the World Bank has described as very strong and quite impressive. In spite of all the noise. So wala tayong pinalabas. Sinasabi as he is. For example, he handled himself with you. Sige, okay.
Mr. Barcelona.
It's just an observation, but I think it's very important. So lately, with what you're asking, how the press take the two-letter H that comes to mind. He's humble and he's honest. We've seen on the TV that he apologized. Rarely, if you see somebody on top, at high level, that they realize that the important thing is with the president, his heart is in the right place. So with somebody who's heart in the right place and who listens, I think the chance for us na umangat tayo is very high.
Of the president against US and President Obama, wherein they mentioned that the president is like Mr. Trump and he craves attention, and the more he gets, the more outrageous he becomes. So according to the Pentagon spokesman, it's wiser to just ignore the president. Your reaction to that?
My reaction to that is their opinion. Okay, thank you.
Marisol Halili, then to be followed by Alex Romero.
Last two questions. Last two questions.
Sir, because of the statement of the president about several issues like the European Union and his statement about the Holocaust, it seems that the Brussels princess may not push through with her visit to the Philippines next year. What can you say about it, sir?
Well, she has her own standards by which she has to act, and although we have not really gotten any formal communication regarding those matters, so this is, in a sense, just a question, a matter of speculation. Although we respect her values, we respect her position.
How will it affect, sir, our relationship or the relationship of the Philippines, particularly to Brussels or to the European Union per se?
Well, in a sense, and I think the business people here will bear me out. The businessmen will come when there is a stable condition, and when there is a competitive environment, if it is to their advantage. In other words, we had to deal with the European Union as two separate situations. One is the European Parliament and also the European business people. And as far as we can see, just as long as we're able to provide a decent, competitive, stable environment, I believe that they will come.
Sir, may I also have your reaction about the statement of Senator Gordon yesterday saying that yung tourism slogan now of the Philippines should be Wow PI or Welcome to the PI.
Okay. I think he was being funny. Thank you.
Alexis Romero. Last question na daw. Sorry, Alexis.
Quick clarification lang yung una. So the president will not change his style?
Come again?
The president will not change his style despite suggestions from allies.
John Galbraith says, when the situations change, he will change his mind and he will change his attitude.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Second question. Hindi yung sa EDCA. To-clarify ko lang, sabi ni DFA Secretary Asay, there's no need there's no need to review daw EDCA. Hindi ba yun parang
as far as combating corruption is concerned, and then comment that binabaan yung budget, I think, ng Sandigan Bayan. Two questions.
Okay, I'm not sure about the lowering of the budget, but for example, yung the street.
Back to our main studio sa Radyo ng Bayan at PTV.
GSIS benefits